What's up, Travis? Welcome to the SABM podcast.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Well, I was gonna say Happy Army Navy Week to you, but you're an Air Force Academy grad.
Yeah,
But
but
you
but
still
it is
watch the
nice
game, right?
now. Now working at Academy Endeavors, it's nice to have clients from, or families from that represent all the service academies. So I still feel like I got a dog in the fight.
Yeah, yep. And so, well, here we are today. I guess we connected maybe a couple of months ago, I think it was, and you're you've got a growing business. You're building your team, um, and you help high school students get into the academy. So I mean, is it as hard now as it was, back when we were trying to
Well,
get in, or is it much easier these
well,
days?
I'll be honest. I got lucky, from personal experience. I was a recruited athlete, right? So it was a little bit of a, different, right? The chances of me getting accepted were different than somebody who's not a recruited athlete.
What sport did you play, Travis?
I was a football player.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, was lucky enough to go to a really good high school football team where everyone was getting recruited, and I happened to be smart enough, to get recruited to either uh, Ivy League school or an academy. But without football, might not have got in, to be honest. So I had that privilege. But in answer to your question, Scott, I think it's getting harder. And the reason why is because Congress has mandated that there's a certain amount, the enrollment is fixed at the academies. It's 4,400 or below. Congress
Okay.
has to actually increase that ceiling. If they don't, then there's only going to be 4,400 at any given time. So that puts you at about 1,100, give or take, in a class.
Okay.
But the US population is growing, right? And um, and college demand for college arguably is growing and has been growing for right an entire few generations now. So because of that, yeah, it's getting more difficult.
Yeah, so let's just start off maybe at a high level with the name of your company is Academy Endeavors. You're the founder. And I mean, how did you even find yourself doing this? Like what led to you like what do you do and what led you to start Academy Endeavors?
A great question. Um, so first, there's a few pivotal moments. So first was obviously went to the Air Force Academy myself, went through that process, and then graduated in 2007. And then I was an ALO. So when I was active duty, I was an Air Force Academy Admissions Liaison Officer. So I was trained by Air Force Academy Admissions to help high school students with their Air Force Academy application and their Air Force ROTC scholarship application. And when I was active duty and doing that part time, I really enjoyed it. It was fun, and I felt like, I was not only giving back but making a difference. Um, but I also saw some gaps, and I'll go back to that earlier, of what we could provide as ALOs versus what maybe some young people might need more of. Um, so I'll go back to that in a second. The other kind of dot that I'm going to connect is when I was separating from active duty 8 years later, so in 2015, and I hired a admissions consultant to help me get into business school. So I figure
Okay.
I got a window of opportunity. I'm only gonna apply to business school once. I want to get into the best business school I can. I wasn't the smartest cadet in the world. So needed a little bit of help there. And with the gentleman's name was Tyler, that was my
Hmm.
consultant. He was a great guy. He's still doing it. And I applied to get my MBA and got into Duke.
Yeah, great school too. I
I
want to
don't
hear how
think
this happened.
I
What's the
think yeah,
strategy?
I don't think I would have been accepted if it weren't for Tyler. Tyler was able to look at me and what I did in the military, which I was a Air Force hospital administrator, and he was able to look at my resume and he was able to put together a story that would be attractive to top-notch schools.
Hmm.
I don't think I could have articulated that or narrated that myself. I think naturally, maybe it's just me. But I think there's a lot of other people out there that this resonates with. I downplayed my background and I didn't know what I didn't know. Versus he was in the business and he was looking at not only his various clients, but all the Rolodex of clients he had in the years prior, going, okay, this is unique, this is unique, this is unique, this is what will help sell Travis, even though um, he might have a couple dings here and there, right? And that really gave me a lot of confidence going in. He helped me with my essays, he helped me with my interviews, he helped
Mhm.
me figure out which MBA schools to apply to, which ones to not waste my time with because they were either too competitive or not competitive enough, etc. So he had that context that I didn't have, and that voice outside of my own head that could speak life into me, which was very encouraging.
And
Uh,
how many years, yeah, real quick, how many years was it that, like, when did you go to business school as it relates to like when were you, like, how many years were you in the Air Force for? Like, at what stage of your life was
yeah.
this?
So I was active duty for 8 years after
Okay.
graduating, and then applied to business school, separated in 2015, went to Duke Business School full time from 2015 to 2017. And then after that, I worked in the corporate world for 3 years before starting Academy Endeavors.
So you had to go back and take the GMAT and all that
I
baloney,
did.
right? And so my GMAT score, I think, was kind of bad. Like I think I took it once. It was like the week before I got married, and
Not a good
like,
time to take
like I probably could have used a coach.
it.
If I wanted.
And
I
so,
don't.
so yeah, so um, he he helped me a lot. So that was another data point.
Mhm.
And then I'd say the next point, kind of connect three dots, was I graduated business school. I joined for-profit sector for the first time, right? The private sector. I was working in corporate America, using my healthcare background actually, um, to work for a company called LabCorp, Fortune 500 company, publicly traded. I was working in sales and marketing with a lot of other sales reps. I myself was not a sales rep, but I was working closely with them to try to drive the business forward. And I learned a lot. And that gave me confidence that if I ever did start my own business, which was something that was in the back of my mind since eighth grade, I'm not sure why it was there. There's probably a few reasons for that that we could explore if it's relevant. But it gave me confidence that if I ever did start my own business, that I think I could use that client facing experience and um, and have confidence to potentially work for myself. Um, so those are I'd say the three big dots, Scott, if that makes sense, that kind of connected and to lay the groundwork to eventually launch Academy Endeavors.
Yeah, did this idea take off right away, or was this a side hustle for a little while, or like what was the demand? Like I mean, now it seems like, geez, you're building your team, you've got these coaches, there's a lot of demand. Did you see that right away when you started, or was it a grind to kind of get 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 it off the ground, or like what was the market response when you launched this?
It has been steady growth since we started. Um, to answer one question, yes, I was surprised. One part of the question, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised at how much interest there was right away when we launched on social media.
Hmm.
Now, the context of that was it was 2020. I had left my corporate job entirely. So, to answer the second part of your question, it was not really a side gig for very long. I left my job cold turkey. Uh, my wife graciously gave me the green light to try this because she knew I had an entrepreneurial itch. And she said, Travis, if it doesn't work out, we have a year to try this, a year set aside in savings to try this. And if it doesn't work out, at least you'll know you tried something you always wanted to do.
What a great wife. Like,
That's
geez, man, like how
what I'm
important was
saying.
that?
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this for a year, um, and what I did before that. So like I said, it wasn't a side gig for very long. Is once I got the idea, I started helping young people for free to see if I liked it before I left my job. And I probably was doing that for a couple months, 2 to 3 months. Um, before I realized, okay, like I love this and I think I'm going to be good at it. Now, it was a bit of a risk still because the admission cycle, you can help somebody for a while, but then you don't actually hear back the fruits of your labor until months later.
Mm.
So all I knew was that I enjoyed the process. The results hadn't yet spoken for themselves.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I didn't get in, Travis. Coach Travis.
that's right. That's right. So maybe a little bit of false sense of confidence, but I guess when we start our own thing, right, Scott, you got to be a little bit confident. Um, so I started helping people for free, and then I approached my boss at LabCorp in September of 2020. I stayed on for a couple months to help hire my replacement, and then Halloween 2020 left, going, well, I got a wife and three kids. My wife stays at home. My wife is stay at home. It's COVID, and I got zero money coming in November.
It's go time.
That'll keep you up. That'll keep you up at night. So yeah. So getting back to the other part of the question, I said that we were pleasantly surprised to have some traction early on, and that's because it was during COVID, and I didn't foresee this at the time. I think this was
Mm.
lucky, but
Yeah.
because it was COVID, people were on their phones a lot. Students were all in virtual school. They were scrolling Instagram a lot. Um, right? People were watching YouTube videos a lot, like even more than they were in 2019, a lot more. And so because of that, when we launched, we did get interest right away. Um, right, we still had to work on our pricing and our packages and what exactly were we going to offer. And I say we, it was mainly me. Yeah, it was mainly solopreneur at first. Um, but we were still trying to figure that piece out, just like any other business. But we did get a boat of confidence early on, and then it's been steady progress from there. Um, so yeah, does that answer your
Yeah,
question?
and walk us through your process. So how, like, when do you start working with the students? Are you also working with the parents? Like, I'd imagine that, like,
That's a whole
I,
other
I guess
topic.
you have kind of two clients in one,
Yeah,
But
yeah, and
walk us through the process, the
I say the
Travis
word clients.
Wittick process here.
Understand, yeah. And I say the word clients, and I really mean representing the whole family. Obviously, the parents are truly the clients since they're the ones paying. But we use the word clients for the cadet candidates or midshipman candidates, because they are truly going under the process and the parents are taking a supportive role. So the parents are CC'd on every email. They're aware of everything we're doing. They have access to all the materials that we're giving them in their workbooks, etc. But the parents are playing a supportive role, and then they're there as needed to interject if we're not getting the engagement that we need or we're falling behind on timelines. We're going VFR direct to the parents in that case. We don't have to do that very much, thankfully, because our the young people are great. But when we do, they're there. Um, so the typical process for a rising senior that is applying. Okay, I want to separate that from we have a separate process for underclassmen.
Okay.
So we can start as early as a rising freshman going into high school.
Is that what you would recommend, or what would you recommend is the ideal time to start?
That is the ideal, is the beginning of high
That's
school.
it. Okay.
Because as soon as freshman year is so important because as soon as you have a high school transcript, that is now able to be viewed, that will be required to be viewed by colleges. So if we have had people reach out to us and because they, for lack of better words, shot themselves in the foot their freshman year of high school, they're now not competitive,
Mhm.
right? Um, that's a rarity. Sometimes you can overcome it, but sometimes you can't. So ideally, that's what we'd recommend. Eighth grade going into freshman year of high school. But for the that is a little bit more rare because some students and their families, they don't know that right, Scott, when you were in eighth grade, did you know you were going to go to the Naval Academy? Probably not, maybe.
No, I probably didn't want to go.
Right,
I
right.
didn't,
So,
I don't know.
right.
till I
So
got till you get recruited or whatever, and you're like, wow, well maybe this is a good option. Probably like maybe similar to your story. I don't know.
exactly. Yeah. So I didn't know that, I thought I was going to UCLA and then going to the NFL. Absolutely full of crap. Um, but but I grew up in Southern California. But yeah, but there are students out there, and so if they're listening to this later on, there are students out there that they've been dreaming about going to West Point since they were 5. It really is amazing. These families that find us, and they've just been, yeah. And the academies are so unique
hmm
compared to other colleges around the country, right? They're so set apart and distinguished that it sometimes attracts that boyhood or, young person dream that's in their heart. Um, but let me start with the application process for the rising senior, since that's the bulk of our clients are rising seniors. And the reason why is what we were joking about earlier, which is a lot of young people don't know what they want until they get closer to that stage of their life. And then they, do some college tours, or they have some discussions with some mentors or family or friends or parents, and they go, I really do want to go here or here. And then they get serious about it. So as of this recording, it's December, which is interesting because what I'm about to say, we right now are filling our program for rising seniors, and we will start in the very beginning of the year, calendar year. So, and that's for juniors. Okay, the seniors at this point are almost done. They're just kind of waiting. All of our seniors, at least, they've finished their applications early and they're waiting for the results. And some of them are hearing back already about nominations, et cetera. That's seniors. So they've already finished with us. We're supporting them through any curveball that comes, but the bulk of it is over. But for juniors in high school, middle of your junior year, you're going to start at a high level. You're going to start with us, and you're going to be supported until you graduate high school. And the first thing we do together is the summer seminar applications to the
Oh,
academy.
okay. Yeah,
So,
summer seminar.
so the academies have, yeah, Scott, did you attend when you were?
Well, I didn't want to spend any more time at the academy than I possibly had to, but I did. I did. I was a company. I did that as like like a summer session,
Okay.
so when I was a midshipman, and I forget which year what that was. I think maybe going into first a year, I was some sort of I can't remember the actual name of or what I did, but I I was
Got it.
I was like I had a leadership position in summer seminar. I thought it was great. It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
So we support those applications as the if you're going to apply to summer seminar, it's essentially the first time when you're officially opening up an application where you're given a candidate ID number, and the Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, West Point, Coast Guard Academy, they know who you are, right? Um, and so because of that, that's when we start. But also there's some other things that begin in January, and it gives us a head start with them because we are marching towards Academy Endeavors boot camp, which we do in the summer, going into their senior year. So this year it'll be July 27th to August 7th. It's virtual. It's not in person. It's virtual. But we use that time to really hyper focus and get the applications across the finish line and bring our whole team together. And so everyone's hyper focused and there's no lag in, if they send something, an essay into us, we're not going to, we're all focused, all on board together. So the turnaround time from client to company, company to client is going to be faster, and it speeds everything up because Scott, you mentioned one of your children are in college, right?
Yeah, she just started as a freshman at Clemson.
At Clemson. So
Yeah.
you've been through the college application process.
Yeah.
And understand that there's a lot of moving parts. And also, what I was going to say is there's advantages to, for our clients, getting their applications done before they start their senior year of high school. Because when you start your
Mm.
senior year, they're all in AP classes, they're in sports, they're in clubs, they might be leading their senior class president, etc. Lots of distractions, lots of competing priorities. And so we really want to hunker down over the summer. So leading up to that, we start in January, ideally, it's really a rolling schedule. If you find us in March or April or May, then we'll start with you then. But we set you on a trajectory to turn in your application by August 31st because we believe, and this is a whole nother topic, but the strategy of getting in, we believe that turning in your application early is one of the best things you can do with it, totally within your control
Mhm.
to maximize your chance of admission because it's rolling admissions.
And is the summer seminar, like, is that a big advantage to getting into an academy? I know that one of my best friends growing up, we grew up in the same town, um, and he did really well in school, and he went to summer seminar and he got early admission to the Naval Academy, and then we ended up in the same class and went through it all together, which was really cool. But I didn't know, is that like a competitive advantage to? I mean, I guess it's probably good to experience the
Mhm.
academy
That's
for what is it, a week, or
a week.
and just
That's
kind of
just
see if this is a fit. But then what do the academies how do they view?
the
Uh,
deans of admissions have said we're not giving any more points for extra points for you if you attend summer seminar.
okay.
So but it's more the experience itself. If you are able to attend, if you can deconflict, sometimes you can't deconflict your final exams from it. Or some of our clients are at Boise State and they can't go, or they have they're in baseball playoffs or whatever, and they're team captain, they can't let down their team. You will not be penalized if you can't go. But it is a nice one-year experience to experience what 1 week as a midshipman or cadet. And therefore, when you come back, we haven't had a client yet not come back from some seminar and go, I want to hit my applications hard. This is exactly where I want to go. You know,
Hmm.
they almost always come back more fired up. So if anything, we do it not as a strategy to get in, but more as the intrinsic motivation increases and their essays and interviews, they know more what they're getting themselves into. And so it's not a quantitative edge. We can't quantify it, but it is a qualitative edge, I think, to your story.
Yeah, it's got
So,
to be. It's got
yeah.
to be. I got a question. So what are you an academy like specialist? And then if they want to go to Duke or they want to go to Clemson or they want to go to wherever, you don't help with that? Or like how does that work? Because I'm kind of curious. Do they bring you like in out of the bullpen to like help help the kid get into an academy? Or like what if they don't get in? Or what if they want to go somewhere else through your coaching? Or how does that work?
Good questions. So we work directly with them on their all of their academy nomination and ROTC scholarship applications. So
Okay.
there's 5 academies. Everyone's eligible for 4 nominations, your congressman, your 2 senators, and the vice president, maybe more depending on if mom or dad served or if you're in JROTC, whole nother discussion. But and then there's 3 ROTC scholarships. There's Navy, Army, Air Force. Okay. So we will support you on all of those applications. So it's max
Hmm.
of, right? What is that? Public math here, 12 applications.
Okay.
Okay. And you don't obviously have to apply to all of the academies. In fact, most of our clients don't. They apply to two or three on average. Um, Now, what we say is we directly help on those applications. All of our workbooks, the deadlines are tight. We're going to hold you accountable to those deadlines. We're going to review all those applications in detail. We're going to work on essays on detail, interview prep for those things in detail. That's our niche, and that's what we focus on. Now, we know, and we tell parents this, all of our clients are going to apply to colleges as well because otherwise they can't use their ROTC scholarship unless they got into a college too.
Yeah.
So they're going to apply to colleges as well. And what we say is indirectly, this program will definitely help you with college. But because I'm not an expert, or we are not an expert in Texas A&M or UCLA or Clemson or Duke, and can't be, right? Because there's so many thousands of them. Um, we indirectly help because you're going to, if you're getting the academy applications done early and then the college comes next, first of all, you've gotten all the complicated stuff out of the way, which is the most complex applications in the country are by far are the academy ones and the ROTC and the nomination. And then now when college comes along, you'll be able to reuse some of those essays that you've written. You'll be able to take our interview prep. And if the rare college asks for an interview, you'll be well prepared. right? And so most of the times what our clients say is, oh, Travis, I I was able to take everything you guys did and was able to go into the Common App and apply to
Oh,
college. And
the
apply to
Common App,
college.
yeah.
And apply to college. That was
Right.
easy, right? Because most colleges these days are on the Common App and it gets shotgun to all the colleges that you want to apply to. It's very straightforward and very simple. And if you have any questions, usually your guidance counselor at your local high school is more than able to answer any questions. And so we that usually goes over very well and connects very well with parents.
Yeah, what have you had any cases where, the student wanted to get into an academy and that's what they wanted to do, but then you open their eyes to like maybe ROTC is an option. Let's kind of cast a wider net. And then they chose that instead. They're like, oh, I'd rather do ROTC. I'm just thinking back to my 17-year-old self and like, had I had a coach or like to kind of talk me through the process, and just maybe cast the net a little wider, like, maybe I would have went to an ROTC school. Like, I don't know, but I'm curious. Does that happen or like, what do you see?
We encourage all of our clients because of our brand, Academy Endeavors. People are coming to us and they're kind of self-selecting. They already want to go to the academy when they're talking to us. But we do spend time with almost every client. If they haven't heard about ROTC, we spend time with them encouraging them to apply to ROTC because every good plan needs a backup plan. An ROTC scholarship, it's going to pay for your tuition and you're going to become an officer, which is what you want anyways. That's end game what all this is leading to. And so we're big on ROTC scholarships. We think it's fantastic. Um, and we've definitely had clients who, they're gung ho about the academies, don't even know what ROTC scholarships are and what ROTC is. When we explain it clearly and they go, oh, that makes sense, I'm definitely going to apply. Um, then, yeah, it becomes something to where I don't think we've had a client really say, I don't want to go to the academy anymore, right?
Okay.
Because just the natures of our brand and the fact that they've already committed and paid up front. I think that behavior is not usually what it is, but um, definitely we have had some, right? We don't have a 100% success rate. Our success rate's really high, way higher than I ever expected it to be. But it's not 100%. And so we have had clients not get into an academy, unfortunately, get into ROTC, get a ROTC scholarship, and go to Virginia Tech or Auburn or right Notre Dame, and go there and go, this is phenomenal. Like this is great. I can, right? You have more of a balanced life, right? We know as academy grads, like it's a 24/7 military environment, and ROTC is a fantastic backup option.
Yeah, yeah. I remember there was one of my friends that I served with was ROTC and he got he got the Navy to pay for him to go to Wharton, right? Like undergrad at
Yeah,
UPenn.
yeah.
So I'm like, dude, like how cool was that? You
Ivy League school for free. Yeah, we just had a client this past year. He came to us and really wanted to do cyber. Like he was cyber. He got into the Air Force Academy, arguably the best uh, college in the country to study cyber and become, a cyber or be in the Space Force and do that as a career. And he got in the Air Force Academy, he got in the Coast Guard Academy. He's from Connecticut, so he's like, oh, I can. And he was a rower. That was his thing.
Hmm.
So he's like, well, I can go be in the best, college in the country for cyber, or I can stay home a little closer to home, which is not always nice, and then I can do rowing, and then got the surprise of a lifetime, got into Yale,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
and had the Navy ROTC scholarship. So he's
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
so we're talking on the phone the day before National College Decision Day, which is May 1st, right? And he's collected all these, treasure trove of accomplishments. And he's like, I got a really tough decision to make. Long story short, he ended up going to Yale and taking his Navy RTC scholarship and rowing there, right?
Wow.
So at the end of the day, that's the beauty of our business. I'm all about them, not necessarily the academy. I'm not just trying to push people to the academy. I don't work for the academy. I work for the family. We work for the family. And so that's a win in my mind. That is a huge win. Um, and he got options, all of them paid for by the US government, all of them leading to be an officer, which is what he wanted. And he got options and he was able to pick. And that is like so, so worth it.
Yeah, yeah, and options that they didn't even know maybe were on the table. So yeah, I think that would have been so helpful, for me back in the day. And I mean, gosh, probably for you too, to have a coach by your side that,
Yeah.
is helping you see what the options are. Now, is Navy still the hardest academy to get into, or which is the hardest one?
Are you saying that because I told you that offline?
What's the hardest one to get into?
You
Come
just
on, man.
Are you
It's
just
got
asking? This was not on the script, Scott.
what?
We're stroking the ego now. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I was just joking about
No,
Navy, but
it's
is
true.
there like a harder
It's
one
true.
to get into? Like,
No,
what's the most competitive one?
Navy's the most difficult.
Oh, it is.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought no. I thought you were. I thought you were leading me into this. Yes, no, it's true. Naval Academy is the most difficult. It's because they generate the most interest. So I was saying earlier that
Yeah, why is that?
the
I,
same amount of slots it, are available to all the three big academies, right? By Congress, right? So the supply is the same. The amount of appointments to give out is the same across all three. Obviously, Merchant Marine Academy and Coast Guard Academy are significantly less, right? They're a lot smaller. Okay. But why does Naval Academy? That's a good question. Why does Naval Academy have more applicants? Um, so about to use round numbers, because it changes from year to year. But there's about 10,000 applicants every year to Air Force Academy. There's about 10, maybe 11,000 to West Point, and there's about 14,000 to the Naval Academy. So the question is, yeah, why does Naval Academy attract more? I think it's two or three things. One, I think it's location. They're in near a metropolitan area on the East Coast, which differentiates them from West Point, and
hmm.
the combination of both in a metropolitan area and um, on the East Coast differentiates them from both the other two big academies. Um, I also think if you want to fly, they're a great. If you want to fly fixed wing, they're a great option, right? Army not so much. And if you want to be in combat arms,
Hmm.
also a great option. They have the Marine Corps and Navy SEALs, and Air Force is not as attractive of an option. So they have both career options, both the flying, which is very popular, and the Marine Corps ground, right? Marine Corps Air, Marine Corps ground, and Navy SEAL that is attractive to young people. And they have all the other things, right? They have intelligence. Obviously, if you have preference for water, the surface warfare, right? Like so, they have more of a diverse career offering than the Air Force or the Army, arguably, right? Maybe I'm pissing some people off here, but I think the combination of that, so that the career offering, the location, okay, and then the third thing that I think differentiates the Naval Academy is their admissions office. Now, most people don't realize this unless you're working from my vantage point, but in admissions, they just straight up must have a larger budget, and they do a damn good job of
Hmm.
bringing out people on paid visits um, to the academy. They call it candidate visit weekend, and they bring people out. They show up and they give them a great weekend. And we have had several clients who come to us and say, "I want West Point number one," or "I want Air Force number one," and then they come back from candidate visit weekend, or they come back from summer seminar and go, "I'm switching it up and going Navy number one." So for what it's worth, I think those are the three. Uh, but enough talking about Navy, right,
Yeah.
Scott?
I was, yeah, that was, I had no idea, but I'm glad you said that. And,
Yep.
obviously they produce the best graduates as well, so I don't,
Obviously.
I'm just joking, man. But it's funny that it's Army Navy week, or it's Friday before the game as we're recording this. So it's fun to joke around and
It
have
is
some
fun.
fun. So
No, it is fun.
yeah, so we connected a couple months ago and it was about hiring, right? So you're building your team. Tell us a little bit about how that's going. If that's still, a major goal right now is to grow
Yeah.
your team.
Yeah.
Maybe if you've got other academy grads on the team, what kinds of roles are they in? I'd love to hear about that for sure.
It's great. In short, it's going awesome. We put out the job description in October. We've had 25 applicants, some from the SABM, the SABM network, which is great. Thank you so much for getting that out for us. And we are going through interviews right now. So it'll be a busy week before Christmas to try to get through all the initial interviews. A lot of very impressive people. The Service Academy network is unique. I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's very unique, very impressive. Um, the informational interviews that I've had, I call them exploratory calls. They're interviews, but they don't even feel like they're interviews because we're just having a conversation about what they're looking for at this point in their career. Have been very fun and life-giving for me. And it's obviously somewhat flattering to build something and have someone take an interest and go, I love what you're doing and I'd love to help. So that's obviously encouraging for me to hear, but it's just fun beyond that to learn about them, to learn about their career, what have they've done. Very interesting conversations, very interesting people. What we've done in the past since we've been around, we're going on our 6th year. Obviously, in the beginning, it was just me. I did everything, right? We brought on an executive assistant who's full time, helps me a ton um, with administrative things behind the scenes. And then we've brought on help to do essay editing. There's so many essays. We need help for that. And then interviews, mock interviews. Interviewing is a huge part of that. Arguably, the academies care more about character than you could argue any other college in America. And so that's why they interview every candidate, right? Very unique. A lot of colleges, they have a limited amount of they don't interview at all. They just read your essays, or they only interview some. Um, but the academies, they are going to interview everyone. And so everyone and the congressmen and senators too. Most congressmen and senators, their independent selection panels will interview everybody, at least at first, or they will at least invite you for an interview. So that is required to get a nomination, right? Same thing for ROTC scholarships. They're going to interview everyone. You're not getting an ROTC scholarship, full tuition scholarship, without getting an interview. So interviews are really important. And we have interview coaches that are academy grads that were trained by me to ask the questions that have been asked around the country by many other interviewers. And so those are the main, things that 1099 part-time academy grads have helped with is interviews because there's so many of them, essays because there's so many of them. But now we're getting to the point where we want more commitment and we need someone to come on and commit to a larger role. So a little bit of an update since I last talked to you, Scott, offline, was we have we have now set expectation with clients that okay, when you signed up with Academy Endeavors, you expected Travis to be your coach, and we will honor that commitment. So Travis will be your coach for 2026. I can't do it all by myself, so we will have some Academy grads coming in and helping. But Travis will be your assigned coach with the expectation that in 2027, we will have 1 year, at least a year of, because some of them have been helping already, other Academy grads doing the frontline coaching.
Hmm.
And so we've set that expectation with the clients. So therefore, that has given me the chance to adjust the job description a little bit from the post that we sent out, but essentially say, hey, we're looking for someone to come on a 1099 basis, so not a W-2 full-time, but a 1099. We're looking for a few part-time 1099 Academy grad coaches that will step up and do a significant amount beyond just essays and interviews, but actually do some client meetings, be involved behind the scenes, do some one-on-ones with clients, dig into their resume, dig into goal setting, dig into CFA prep, which is another aspect. They have to do a candidate fitness assessment. Every applicant has to. And so we're calling that position an assistant coach. So if I'm the head coach, we need a few assistant coaches to come in beyond just essays and interviews. And that's what we're looking for now. So these 25 applicants have been made aware of that slight change in the job description. Surprisingly, every single one of them came back to us and said, yes, keep me in the running. I'm interested in 1099 part-time work, even though it was originally W-2 full-time. Uh, and we're being as honest and transparent with the candidate pool as possible and saying, hey, and we hope that this, as we grow, that this will transition into W-2. We just don't know yet because we have to, uh, we're a startup, so we have to adjust as the demand comes in.
Yeah, what are the so for somebody that is part-time or 1099, like what are the hours kind of like? I mean, it's is it on the evenings or when is the coaching happening and like how do you envision that? Maybe somebody has a job and they're like, "Hey, maybe I'd like to transition into something with a little more purpose or I want
Right?
to be around other academy grads. I want to
Yeah.
help young people, get into the academies or an ROTC program." And this might be more of a purpose-driven work that they can do on the side. Like, what are the yeah? What does the schedule kind of look like for
It's
as you envision it?
it's mainly nights, weekends, and summers.
Okay.
Because the clients are in school and they're in sports and extracurriculars after school. um and that's why I think before you hit record I was like, yeah, after this I have a few calls, right, that I need to take. So very rarely am I taking a call in the middle of the day on a weekday during school. But spring break, Christmas break, like we take advantage of the white space in their calendar, right? Which actually could marry up nicely with the white space in somebody else's calendar that's looking to help out on a part-time basis. So we were very honest in the job description saying availability is key for this, right? If you don't want to take a call at 9 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday night, this job is not for you. And that's okay. We just want to be very clear about what we're about and what we need, right? Um, and so night calls, I do Sunday calls. I take Saturday off, right? Need to have some family time here. So I take Saturday off. That's personal. That the coaches that we bring on can have some flexibility to set their own schedule. Um, but I have Sunday calls, and then I do Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night calls. Um,
Yeah.
so that's a window into how I've structured it to make it work for me and my family.
Yeah, and I know you've got a client call coming up here, probably at the top of the hour. Just to wrap up here. So where do you want to go with this, right? So if you're looking out over the horizon, 3 to 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? Like what does success look like for you and academy endeavors?
It's a good question. Well, our stated mission is to be the most professional, most trusted Service Academy ROTC consulting company in the world. Um, I didn't necessarily say we would need to be the biggest. And this is a cottage industry. There's not many competitors. There are a few others that are doing this sort of thing. Um, so top line revenue is not necessarily the goal. The goal is to become more professional, more trusted, to bring on Service Academy grads that meet our core values, fit, and our culture fit, that really have the heart of a coach that want to make an impact in young people's lives. Um, the best part about coming to work at Academy Endeavors, and Tori, my executive assistant, was just saying this earlier, is the emails and the calls that we and the texts that we get to celebrate of the people that their lives changed because they got into the academy. We just had one recently, family out in New York, upstate New York, and the mom just texted us and said, "Hey, I caught my son opening his email on his phone to get an email from, it was the Naval Academy, and he's reading it, and tears are coming down his eyes, and he can barely finish reading it. And his mom is like, "Hey, I got you. I'm recording this. Keep going. Keep reading." And and he's like breaking up. He can barely hold himself together because he's been dreaming about this for so long, and he sacrificed so much. And he didn't have a normal summer. He was in Academy Endeavors boot camp when all of his friends were messing around, right? He was got his butt in seat doing SAT prep when he didn't feel like it, right? And doing the seventh round of essays, making sure it was just right when everyone stopped six rounds before that and said it was good enough. He didn't. So yeah, that's the best part about this job. We have grown. The growth has happened. It's been 40 to 50% year over year since we started, which has been very humbling. We have an 85% success rate for those that have come through our pro program of getting into the academy. I'm very humbled and really proud of the candidates and all that they've done and the parents. And we got some of the best families in the world. And we're taking it year by year, so I don't have like this. I guess I'm just not the leader that says, hey, in 10 years, I want to be at 10 million and, I want to serve 5,000 families. Those are just numbers. I think we have a goal for next year and we're disciplined and we're obviously a business, but um, this next year we want to do really well at bringing on board one to two to three, somewhere in there. Assistant coaches is what I call them, that will eventually lead to being head coaches so that I can focus on running the business and working on the business, not in the business. And I can coach the coaches and share with them what I've learned so that they can do more of the the frontline coaching and they can get the reward of working with people that I've had for so long. So
Well, Travis, it's been a lot of fun, man. And what's the best way for folks to reach out and get in touch and learn more about what you do?
they can email us at support@academyendeavors.com. We'll get back to them right away.
Cool. And we'll put your website and LinkedIn profile, if that's okay, there in the show notes so people can reach out and connect. And
Thanks.
this was a fun one. This one almost, I guess, almost an hour, but I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the conversation. It's kind of fun also, Army Navy week, and we're talking about,
Yeah,
kind of getting into the academies and which
right.
one's the hardest. And, it was a good way to end the week. So
That's
you
right.
did great.
Thanks, Scott.